Hello, I think I'm set up. Hopefully my audio is fine. Camera looks like it's working. Adjusting my headset, I can hear myself better now. All right, yeah, audio levels look fine. Let me know if I need to tweak it or if it's not loud enough or if it's too loud. Let me know. All right, so today I'm going to be streaming different stuff than I normally do. I want to work on the VS Code extension for Comet. It's not open source yet. It will be. There's some things I have to do with before I make it open source. But I'm tempted to actually work on parts of it right now, and that's what I'm going to do. Right now, the Comet VS Code extension only works for iOS and only on a Mac. And I want to fix that. So today I want to work on doing some stuff for Android. The reason it doesn't support Android is because Android's tricky. It doesn't work as easy as iOS. iOS was just super easy to do things. And so I'm going to work on, like I said, we'll work on some Android stuff. We'll get it working. The building it and the detecting it and all of that's fine, but doing the interactions with the emulators and the devices, a bit trickier. Quite a bit trickier. So we need to, play with that some. All right, so let's just switch over. Jump to my code. Unless you guys have any questions or anything you guys want to talk about, we could still talk even while I'm going. All right, so there's a few things going on here. This is the extension for Comet. Not much to it. It's got TypeScript and it's got some C# stuff because we do some stuff in .NET, and we also do some stuff in here. So yeah, what I was working on last night was actually getting it to where I can just debug the extension. It will pick up the new, before if you had the old extension, oh, this breakpoint will not go away. Don't know how to tell VS Code to stop breaking there. I'm glad it's breaking. I had issues with figuring out getting breakpoints to work. But yeah, so now we have the different projects that show up. We have iOS and Android. Before it was just filtered down to just Android. Maybe we'll even do some stuff so it can work on Mac and also UWP or WPF or whatever. But for now, I just got Android working. We'll say debug. I have not done the selected device for Android. If we're on an iOS one, oh, come on. Hopefully I didn't just break it by clicking on that too many times. We're not in a breakpoint, are we? I may have broke something because we don't do anything. Let's restart that. Try this again on iOS. And I may have broken. Press play. Don't care. All right. Toggle the breakpoint. Now it'll go. All right. So now if we go to iOS, debug, select a device, now shows us iOS stuff. So, hey, good morning, Lachlan. Welcome, welcome. So the iOS stuff works and does all the device picking, and you can pick a device. I don't pay attention to which ones are launched. It would be nice to maybe order these in a different order because right now they're in alphabetical, which no one wants to do an iPhone 5S. You kind of want to start with the iPhone 11s. So I probably need to do something to order these and maybe even put like an asterisk or something next to this one is launched. So we're going to work on the Android stuff though. So in order to do Android stuff, we have to interact with the Android SDK. There's a couple different things. There's an emulator thing, and we can read through lots of docs on there, and I have done a fair amount of that, and it's not fun. And it does not work that. It wasn't even when I got it going, and I followed it, it wasn't that great. However, John Dick, awesome John Dick, if you don't know him, Reddit on GitHub, he builds all kinds of cool things. So I'm going to try using his library today. I've never used it. I looked at the README and I'm like, that looks awesome. All right, so can you ask a question? If you're currently using MVVM like that, you're currently using an, okay, and which one? Oh, if I'm using one. To be honest, I like MVVM and I do things in MVVM, but I don't use either of those. There's too much pop and circumstance, a lot of things. I do MVVM, but I don't necessarily think that my view models need to do all the navigating and things like that. And if I do need an MVVM, I just do something really, if I do my own stuff, I do something really, really simple. I think I have one on GitHub. Last time I used a dependency injection thing, I wrote my own because it's like 20 lines of code and it's nice and simple. So I called it something navigation. Actually, if we go to repositories, hopefully nothing shows up. I'm doing Did I call it? No. Simple. Call lots of things simple. Simple IOC app. There we go. So last time I needed one, I did this because check it out. That's the whole thing. That's it. That deals with all of my view model navigation stuff. So I just don't like bringing on big dependencies if I don't need to. And I actually despise most dependency injection. I don't like it when things come out of nowhere. I know that's not the popular thing amongst people in this crowd, but if I want something to be newed up, I want to be able to the one who called and said where it came from. I hate it when there's a class that has like 10 interfaces in the constructor and they just magically come from nowhere. Yes, I understand where they came from, but I don't like it. And it's really hard for new people to join the projects and understand it. And why did it choose this one when and where and why? I just don't like it. So I like to explicitly do things. So I don't use Prism or MVVM Cross for those type of reasons. And MVVM Cross is more than just an MVVM framework. It like forces you to build apps a certain way, where Prism is more brings in all the DI and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, I mean, I was doing G Music. If you look at the Xamarin Forms G Music, which I've live streamed 100% of. Oh, actually, we can just type it. I don't use any of that. And it is Xamarin.form, or no, G Music forms. This is 100% MVVM. It's using it all the way. And I don't do that stuff because it has none of those. So, and I don't even have an IOC in this at all. It just works. So I have no problem navigating from a page. It's the UI anyway, so it makes sense for the UI to do the navigation, in my opinion. Okay, so on that note, we're going to try this thing out. He did send me stuff saying that it is up on, it's not on NuGet, but it is on MyGet, I believe. So we'll pull it in from there. Let me find my message. Talking to him yesterday about it. Okay, yeah, so we'll bring it in from MyGet. But here, it's all open source. We can use it. He deployed it to .NET, to the .NET stuff, so you can just do like .NET new. I mean, you can do it to the .NET global stuff. But I want to use it as a library because I want to interact with this. So this is pretty sweet. So it'll let us do stuff on the ADB. We can get all the connected devices. And we can also, furthermore, say, instead of just all the devices that are connected, we can also ask the emulator for all the emulators that are listed. And we can also create emulators. I don't think I'm going that far. Maybe eventually we'll let you create an emulator from directly inside of VS Code, but I just don't need to do that right now. It's kind of cool that you can, though. Really exciting that you can. Maybe one day I'll be able to feel brave enough to do that. All right, so today we're gonna be doing C# and TypeScript. I'm not amazing at TypeScript. When I use it a lot, I get pretty good at it. So please don't make fun of my TypeScript skills too much because they are very lacking. And I'm going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. So hopefully I can make up for it with my C#. All right, so we're going to use this thing. Now the way the VS Code stuff works right now is you can access and use C# stuff, not inside, you have to do it out of process. And so that's how like the debugger works for debugging the Xamarin stuff, all happens out of process. And it does this whole bridge thing where it communicates back and forth. So we're gonna do that. And that's actually how the iOS device stuff works as well. It actually calls out, gets data from something out of process. So we're going to do something very similar, and we might break this up a little bit more. Right now, everything lives in the same thing because it was only iOS. We like the simulator analyzer stuff comes out. Right now, we have the show promise, the project picker. We also have this thing, so it's going to do a check. If it's iOS, do this. Else, we'll do a new one in here. Else if Comet project manager.current project type equals project type.android. This doesn't exist yet, so we need to add this in here. Await this dot, and we have to do all this stuff. So we're good there. Let's just using, oh, I don't have Keycaster. Okay, yeah, that's working. Let me move this around. We'll put our hotkeys right there. All right, so we're just going to copy this guy and we'll put it right here. Show Android. Perfect. And we'll eventually do stuff for the other ones because like if it's Mac, you don't even, whoa, I didn't want to save everything. This was me fighting MS Build last night trying to get this to all work. We'll play with more of that because we have to deal a lot with MS Build, make all this stuff work. All right, so inside the Comet configurations, we'll have this one in here. Oh, too many curly braces. Now we can just do this. And then after that's shown, and this needs to be uppercase. There we go. I like TypeScript because it does fix things like this, because I would not be able to do this if I was doing it purely in JavaScript. You can do pure JavaScript to do these VS Code extensions, but I'm going to stick with TypeScript. I like that type safety. All right. Now, I think actually, if we do this, let's just copy some of this code. So we're not going to do any of that. We'll deal with that in a minute. But for now, what we can do is show quick pick simulators is label simulator. I'm just trying to remember how this works. Okay, map of that. So what we'll do, we're going to just copy that. We don't need the map. We are going to hard code this right now and see if we can get the Android stuff to work. So we don't need the simulators raw. Here we will just say equals, am I doing this syntax right? Good chance no. Here we should be able to just do, I think we can do this. Is that right? There's a way to do this all online. That's gonna make it, I remember like array initializer syntax inside of, I think I can do something in here. How to initialize and populate all in one go rather than doing, do I use the new? Yeah, so we have the class, we do this new array, but I don't want to do, okay, bars equals that. Oh, so I do just do, okay, I was close. Okay, so it's just, it's not curly braces, it is brackets. All right, oh, which I almost had. So close. All right, so we're gonna do this to get us some simulators. And inside of here, we need label my Android. I think I can just do that. What's it complaining about? Cannot find label, because this just does it as a new type. Do I need to simulators.map? Because this creates a new class, I thought, if I remember right. Yeah, it's just a label string simulator. I can't do that. Is it because that's var? I thought that would work. I didn't want to have to create that class to do it. I don't think I have to create the class. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I thought you could just do that stuff without actually, maybe it's because that's in a parenthesis. That's, oh, I don't have my curly braces. Ah, there we go. I can code, I promise. Simulator, we're just, no, I don't even think we need simulator. Let's just go with that really quick, right? We'll do this, select a device to use. If P, we don't have to do, there is no simulator. So we're just going to ignore all this stuff. And let's see what happens. And I think I have, do I have the watch running? I might not have npm watch running. I do, it should just work. Why is it on selecting a device? Okay, that is popping up the wrong thing. What am I doing wrong there? Okay, let's go debug that stuff. All right, so I should have the project picker. Show project picker. Find references. Select project. Perfect. And that's going to do go to definition. All right, so this says gets the projects. I don't know how that was ever showing the other picker. That's kind of weird. Do our double breakpoint. No, I don't want to. Yeah, I did have one there. All right, so let's try this again. If we do Android, we do the pick the picker, that pops up. Now going back here, we're going to just say Android, debug, update project status. Done. Now, if I click the selected device, did not work. Selected device. No, that's the iOS one. Android. That looks right. Try that again. Select a device. Show Android picker. Play. I am not getting this. That means I do not have the watch going. There's an npm. Is that one? No, not that one. Actually, if I just do the build command. npm build, this should start the compilation and watch. And now it's watching for changes. So now if I debug, I should get those changes. At that breakpoint. Forever cursing me. All right. So let's do select device. I'm going to say, yes, it's Android. Did we get the pop-up? My Android device. So now I can click on that and it's be like, hey, look, you picked my Android device. Perfect. And then later we'll be able to set this all the nonsense we need to for the Android device. We'll probably do need to create a device class of some sort. I'm not doing that right now, so that way we know how to use it for iOS versus Android. Or we can just have separate variables because it doesn't matter. We'll have iOS and Android, and yay, perfect. So now what we need to do is just get it to call into a .NET class that will then give us the list of devices so we can populate that properly. No problem at all. So the way I'm doing it over here is I just call into a thing that then parses some stuff for iOS. So we're going to do something very similar to this, which is going to get us out this simulator version, which is probably good enough, should have everything we need. Maybe not, we might have to change this. Right now I have it a simulator version. We might just change that to a device of some sort. So it works for simulators or phones. And right now this only works on simulators too. I don't think I did any of the work to make it work on devices. You know, I think I even have it hard-coded to, yes, I did have it hard-coded because I had to change that last night. When I was working on this, it was hard-coded to current platform, iPhone simulator. I had it hard-coded. And I was like, oh, that's an issue for me doing Android because it's not. All right, so let's go over to here. Right now, I have a couple different projects. We're going to add a new one. Add new project. It's going to be a .NET standard or .NET Core app console application. Perfect. We're going to, what is 3.1? What's going on here? No, I am not using Comet at all. I am using, no, I am writing the extension that we use to debug and use Comet inside of VS Code. So I'm not working on Comet, I'm working on the tooling for Comet. So kind of a deep, odd topic. Not something everyone wants to play with, but hey. Yes, makes a lot more sense. No, I'm not going to make anyone else jump into... Yeah. So this goes here, source. I thought I had a C# source thing. I just have a solution right there. All right, so we are going to... Let's go with that right now. Android devices. Throw this in here. So this is a way for us to communicate with Android devices. Yay. Okay. Actually, what kind of project is this one? I'm just curious. It is a .NET framework. I might do the same just because it's really easy to run. Delete. I want it to be consistent. So yeah, that's why I'm doing TypeScript. It's not the things I normally do. And so, but yes, we're going to be writing some C# code now. .NET Council app. This will be our Android devices. All right. Fun. So what we're going to do is we only need this to list devices. We can do everything else through this other thing. So we're going to have to add a NuGet package. And I'm going to have to configure sources. We are going to come and add a new one. Copy link. URL is this. All right, perfect. We now can go to Android Tools. Let's hope this loads. There it is. All right. Oh, he might have done his as .NET Standard. I wonder if that will add here. We'll find out. No. That's going to cause me issues. I do it as .NET 8, can I? Manage NuGet packages. Well, that's going to be fun because I also wanted to use that here in this project. And I don't think I'm ready to convert this entire thing to .NET Core. So that's fun. What's this thing using? So if he has this already, we might be able to just use it directly. Just use a packaged version of it. I'm just going to clone it. Doing it. Time to clone. All right, so repositories, open in VS Code. Why did it go to the insiders one? I don't care. That'll be fine. All right, so inside of here, yes. Restore. See if that'll go. All right, so what options does this thing have? List SDKs. I want to list devices. That's what I care about. All right, there's listing all the devices from ADB because we're going to need two things. We know all the devices that are on ADB, so what's connected. We also need to know what emulators exist. What's this output going to be? Is it going to be something easy to parse? That's the big thing. That's why I was going to do it myself, because then I can control the parsing of it. So let's run this puppy. I don't know what else to say. So we've got the tool, which is the program, then we have the SDK. Is there anything fancy in this SDK? If it's a .NET Standard 2, I should be able to reference that. Why won't that add then? Do I have to do something? I can't remember. I know you can do this. Add .NET Standard. Dun dun dun. Adding a reference. I want to add the NuGet. I thought I can do this. Can't I? Do I have to do something to tell it to fall back? I can't remember. Yes, here we go. Okay. In some cases, all right. Because it'd be nice just to reference it and output what I need. Anyone done this? I'm trying to remember. I thought there's something I can do to tell it to fall back and use it. I can't remember. There's a way to do this. Yeah, .NET Standard 2 4.6.1. I increased this to 4.8. It was on 4.7. Oh, it has a package tool type of .NET tool. That's the problem. It's not built. The NuGet package is wrong. I have to bother John about that. All right, that makes a lot more sense. The NuGet package is wrong. I just want to see what's in it. And isn't there a way to just download that? I can't remember parsing those URLs. That's all right. We will just try doing this then. Not what I wanted to do. So we'll just try his program. And to do that, if I go to this VS Code, do I still have that open? Okay. So if I run this, what's it going to do? My extension's kicking in like, you haven't set the CS proj. All right, perfect. Debug output. So if we do devices, it should work. And where is this thing built? Let's just go to reveal in Finder. What we'll do is go into the bin, debug, .NET Standard. All right, so now we can just do terminal cd to here. .NET run. Oops. Dun dun dun. Can't you just run the .NET DLL that way? I thought you could do that. .NET run DLL. Oh, it's just .NET, the DLL. No run needed. That's only for the projects. .NET run required. Android SDK, was it Tool. Tool is the one I need. There we go. Oh, wow. All the versions. All right. And so this one is called just Android. All right. That's the one I needed. Device. All right. And that shouldn't list anything because there aren't any. That was slow. All right. That was way slow. Let's try that with emulator. Is that parsable? It's nice that I didn't have to do anything. What are my options in emulator? Start. And let's just pass in this. Hey, that started my emulator. Of course, it's asking at the terminal since it's the one that launched it. So we're getting somewhere. We can list our devices. We can also, now that that's done, if I run the same thing on the device list, oops. Whoa, that's a lot more data than I want. Wow. All right, so I can't use this tool because it's not something that's easy to parse. Okay, I'm not missing anything. So interface with ADB, usage Android device, options command. Why is that so big? That seems wrong. This is telling me a lot about that device. But it's not. What if I had a phone plugged in? What would it give me? All right, so I think the library is going to be awesome. I'm going to use the library. I'm going to be really, really lazy. And we're just going to go here. And we're just going to grab this DLL. Just got a message. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's on Discord. Oh, it's Discord being slow, saying I just started my live stream. It's if this then that is so slow for all those notifications. All right, so what we'll do is we've got this DLL. And let me copy that. Sorry, telling the kids not to play in the hallway right next to my office. All right, so what we'll do is now we will just go here, reveal in Finder, put it on the other screen. We are just going to paste this right here. Oh, tasks. That's not what I copied. Copy that. There we go. And now we're just going to add the reference manually because I'm feeling lazy. And I just want to see if this will work. If this works, we'll do something to get his thing properly into a real NuGet that I can use. But for now, should be good. All right, so now we have his Android SDKs. We should now be able to go look at his code and just create a new SDK manager. He does it a little bit differently here, all in one. All right. Ensure, I don't have to do the acquire, I don't think. That's right. What's that hotkey? Why is that not? Is his stuff wrong? So he does a new Android SDK manager. All right, so his documentation's wrong. Let's readme. I think, can't you just do edit? We're gonna send him a pull request live. That was at the bottom under everything together. There we go. Pull request. I like that. So nice. All right, so now we have that. We've cleaned up his README. And we can go back to the README. All right, so we don't need to do anything for the building. We're going to build that from VS Code. We're not going to deal with installing things because I just don't want to deal with that right now. And we're not creating, not dealing with that. Start the emulator. All right, that's stuff we're going to need. I'm not going to do that yet, and we can wait for it to finish booting. We will need this stuff. All right, we're not going to do that yet. So for now, we'll do SDK dot emulator dot list AVDs. All right, we're also going to say SDK dot ADB dot get devices. All right, so var devices equals that. Var emulators equals this. All right, so now we're gonna have to console.writeLine devices first. That, oh, I don't have using system.link. Hey, how's it going, Asterix? Everyone having fun with this, staying at home? Everyone doing pretty good with this? Hopefully everyone's keeping busy, keeping happy, not letting it get to them. My kids are doing good overall. They get a little stir crazy, like playing weird loud games right outside my office. Our house is big enough they don't have to play in my hallway. And you can probably hear them making noises. I have noise gates and filters on like that, but I doubt they're good enough. All right, so let's do that. We're going to put a breakpoint here. Let's change this to this, and we're going to run this instead. Yeah, I've worked from home forever. Like, I'm used to it. I really don't mind it. Oh, that's on release. Why that? Oh. I miss the kids getting out, though. All right, so we have one Android called Android 28. This one gives us one ADB device. And what we'll need to do is check the simulator against the emulator. Oh, is the emulator just a string? List AVDs. That just gets us back a string. All right. So emulator.get. I mean, I guess we can do it off the name. I just wanted to match it off of something better. Does this have a name that matches? No. Generic x86. There's the SDK. SDK phone emulator. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem, because you can do that. So we know this is an emulator. The question is, how come their emulator told me more? We can go look at his tool. Because look, it told me more data. A lot more data. All right, let's go look at the tool. Open source makes this nice. All right, so if we go look in his tool program, why is that so big? All right, so emulator list command. SDK AVD Manager, list devices. AVD Manager, hey Dario.net, thanks for the follow. So, did he do list AVDs or did he do list devices? There's another thing that's named very similarly that does the same thing. It's all right. I'm not going to let you, even if it lets you with the same name, it won't matter because I can't tie the name to that anyway because they're not named that. So let's restart this. That's kind of cool. But like I said, that still doesn't help me because I need to tie this Android device, which tells me the model, device, product, and serial, to Android TV. Okay, that gave me a list of all the emulators. That's not what I needed. So this is actually kind of cool though, because that will let me to do that interactive to build one. All right, so I was looking at the wrong code. I want the list one, not the list. Here we go. List DVDs, that's the one I need. We'll figure it out. All right, so now our emulator tells us a bit more. We get the name, we get the device, we get the path. But is that going to give me enough to tie these two together? I don't know. Like, that tells me nothing. How am I supposed to tie those two together? I wonder if I ask ADB. Get. Maybe that. All right, there the name matches. All right, we have a way to link these together. All right. Now from ADB, all right, so if we create, let's create a class really quick. Class device data. All right, public string name, public string let's do that for the API version stuff. Then we'll say bool public string serial. I think that's what I need to connect to it via ADB. When we do the debugging, public bool is and is running and is emulator is only for emulators. So we'll do that. All right. So now what I can do, trying to think the most efficient way. There should not be that many emulators. There should not be that many devices plugged into ADB. Like How many people have like 20 phones plugged in? SCloud guys. Some people do. It's possible, but it's not common. And it's not common to have 100 emulators. You could. Let's hope you don't. All right, so what we'll do is we will do list, what do I call that class? Device data. All right, control. Why are my hotkeys not working? I have a hotkey. Do that. I am on an early release, a preview. So my hotkey's not working, drives me nuts, but it's something we can deal with. All right, now we'll also do var device serials equals new dictionary string. Now what we're going to do is we will do for each var device and devices, we'll say if device dot, oh, it's complaining because we're already using that word. All right, so device dot is emulator. We'll say device serials. Then here we'll do this. Do that. Equals device dot serial. All right, so that gives us a way to look these things up. Else, we'll say found devices. Oh, we need the name no matter what. Done. Name. All right. Don't need that. All right, so now we can do found devices dot add new device data. We'll say is running equals true, because of course it is. Its name equals name, and serial equals device dot serial. All right, perfect. Now we can do for each var emulator in emulators. We can just say device serials dot try get. Actually, we'll say var is running equals to this. Try get out value. We will say the key is emulator dot name, and then we'll do out var serial. All right, so now found devices dot add new device data is emulator equals true, is running equals is running, and then we will also say serial equals serial, and name equals emulator dot name. We didn't do anything with the API stuff, did we? Version equals emulator dot. We have any data on that? I don't know. We're just gonna leave that off for right now. Something to throw in later. Figure out. I'll probably ask ADB or the emulator about that. Now we should be able to do in found devices console.writeLine. Now we should only have one because we just joined those two lists together. That's a big thing here, is that we joined those two lists together, and because we don't want it to show up in ADB if it's an emulator, because the emulators are going to take care of that. So, all right. And we'll put the devices first because why not? Devices are faster. So we'll do device.name. Device.serial and device.is emulator. All right, so let's run this. Press play. All right. Wait, is running is true on the what? Let's debug. That makes no sense. All right, so is running. Right, that one's running. This one is running is false. False. Hey, lucky number 7, thanks for the raid. Wow, welcome everybody. So right now we are working on a VS Code. Oh, I did is emulator. Of course there's emulator. Is running. That's what I was thinking. All right. So we are working on a VS Code extension to allow us to debug Comet, Xamarin, iOS and Android apps written in C#. And right now it works with iOS, but we're working on doing all the things to interact with the emulators and devices. That way you can build and debug. And so we're switching between C# and TypeScript because some of the stuff we're doing in C#, and then we're going to interact. We're going to have the TypeScript call into the C# to get some of the data back and forth. And so, yeah, it's kind of a hybrid stream right now. Kind of a fun one. It's deep. It's a little deep because we're doing some odd things. We're dealing with Android SDKs. Into the bowels of that, we're dealing with emulators and VS Code and TypeScript, multiple languages. So it's a bit of a mess just because of all that. But it's fun. All right. So now we have a way to get the device data we need. Well, we have it. We have it. We don't have a way to pass that data. We haven't passed that. We don't have a way to pass it back and forth between the two yet. But we have a way to get the data we need. So right now we know exactly we get this object back. Easiest way would be just to like serialize this and write it to the disk and just say, hey, write this thing here. Hands down, that's going to be the easiest way to deal with this. We might do that, or we can do something where we actually send data back and forth. That's a bit more complicated. The way the iOS stuff works is there was already a tool written that just writes it out to XML. So I used that. I don't want to write to XML. I don't really like XML. I prefer JSON, so we'll do JSON. So yeah, let's add Newtonsoft. Let's do that. Let's switch to here. Newtonsoft JSON, add the package. All right, so now what we have here, we're just going to this is our utility. We're the only one using it. We could be really, really nice and do all of this type of stuff like John did for his, where we do all the options and stuff, but I'm going to be lazy. We don't need that. This is our tool. It's internal. It's not going to be used by anybody but our extension. So we'll say var output path equals args.first or default. And we can make it complain if there's no output path. So if output path equals, we'll do if string dot is null or white space. Do you have a good stream, Lucky? What were you working on? Also, guys, all of you that were already hanging out here, definitely check out Lucky's stream. I need to add the fancy chat commands like everyone else does to show his stuff. He's on our live coding team. There's a whole bunch of us. There's like 100 and something of us that we live stream code all the time. There's a conference coming up. You've got to check this stuff out. It's awesome. All right, is null or white space output path? Oh, nice. Still working on Alfred. So Alfred is a bot that works inside of our Discord channel that like tells us when who's on and who's doing stuff. That's pretty fun. I know it does more than that, but that's the stuff that I know it does. All right. So we have our output path. We'll say if it's null or empty, return, and let's like complain. The output path. All right, so wait, there's another live coder. I need to get my bot to where it like announces when live coders are in chat, because I know a couple of you guys have those, and that's really cool. I need to spend some time on bots. I wrote one very simple bot, and that's it. All right, so yes, more live coders. They're everywhere, everywhere. All right, so we've got the output path. Well, I can let you sneak in, but the moment you talk, that's how I've seen the other ones do it. They don't announce when someone joins chats, when you talk in chat. Then people can lurk all they want. All right, so we have our output path. Make sure we pass in an output path. Next few lines of code is going to be just super simple, nothing fancy. We're not going to output all this stuff. We found the devices. We don't need all that stuff. That's just going to muck up the output. Actually, we'll leave it there just for, I like it when I debug. All right, so now what we'll do is we will do newtonsoft.json serializer. Hey, thanks for the follow, Gnarly. Wait, is it JSON serializer? It is JSON convert. .serialize object. There we go. That's all we got to do. Hey, Flav Creations, thanks for the follow. Found. Now we can just say our found devices var JSON equals that. Now we can do file dot and file. I wish my hotkeys were working. It's driving me nuts. Not cool. The click file dot write all text, and this one, yes, this one overwrites. Perfect. So we have our output path, and then we have our JSON. Done. All right, so now we have this little utility. Let's build this. Let's jump over to VS Code. All right, so not this one. This was the other library. This is our project. Inside of here, there's already some stuff in here to call out to the MS build stuff, and I'm trying to remember where that's at. During the debug, there's something that calls this thing out. Oh, exciting. Yes, most of what I code is in C#. I live and breathe C#. A lot of my projects revolve around C#. I've been working on a new UI library called Comet that is all C#. So I spend a lot of time in C#. TypeScript, I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to make it work because I have to. If you're doing VS Code extensions, TypeScript or JavaScript. So fun. Now it's been a while since I did this in here. Is it here? This server? I have a server. See, I started on this for the server, and I'm not doing that. That's not the way we're going to talk to it. I probably should because it'd be cooler, and then it could get notifications back and forth. But there's something. What's this output as? We'll find it. Find and replace. All right, so we are looking for mono debug inside this thing. That's the output. No, comment debug. I changed the comment. I changed the name. All right, so somewhere in here, there is something that shells out and calls Comet debug. Register commands. Ah, here it is. So we tell it that, hey, this is the debugger program. So we're going to do this slightly different. And that just does it all from that. That's kind of nice. All right, what we're going to do instead is look how we did it on our iOS simulator emulators, or this stuff. So here we just do a launch. Luckily, we have it to where we can just tell it to launch. We are going to have to do a check if we're on if we're on Mac OS, call mono first. Unless there's an easy way in VS Code to launch mono. So you're doing some courses on fundamentals, object-oriented unit test, test-driven development. Oh, wow, that's lots of fun stuff. SQL. Yeah, you're all over the place with that. MVC. A lot of stuff anymore is not too much MVC. You still see some of that in the web, but a lot of things are moving towards MVVM and also like the new MVU stuff, fun stuff. In the end, C#, doesn't matter which pattern you use. It's all fun. All right. So does VS Code extension run mono? I'm wondering if there's an easy way. So right now I am building what I'm building is an extension for VS Code to allow us to build and debug iOS and Android apps that are written in C#. So yes, building an extension inside VS Code, it's fun. All right, so if inside of our extensions, I know we can shell out. I'm already doing that. But I'm hoping that there's a helper that says, hey, if we're on Mac OS, add mono in there. We might have to just do that ourselves. So yeah, like right now you can already use VS Code to like build .NET standard apps and things like that, but you can't do anything with iOS or Android, not easily. All right, so there's a way inside these extensions to where we can ask what OS we're on. And I can't remember what's in here. VS Code extension OS detection. Maybe how they're detecting debug mode. There's something on there. It's kind of nice they're able to just do this mono thing that we did in the package, but I'm not going to do this based off that because that's for doing the debug. That's how the debugger is tied in. I am going to call a command. Actually, I might have code already. I was doing some of this before inside one of my utilities. What does this do? OS. Disposable VS Code, utilities. All right, is Windows. Hey, I've already got something in there. All right, here we go. I was looking at some other code. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to do something very similar to this. So this is for the iOS simulator. So let's create a new one. New file. Comet Android. .ts. Oh, that's the analyzer. Call it an analyzer. All right. So I should be able to, what's the namespace on that? Just do that. Don't need any of that, just utils. All right, so inside of our new thingy, we will borrow a little bit of this code because we want some of the same exact things. We want to be able to say, hey, get the simulators, which is going to bring back this. And we're going to refresh it. With this, we're going to have to refresh more often because on this one, we only refresh if it's null. iOS simulators don't change very often. The versions don't. They just don't. Whereas they do with Android. All right. So let's just copy a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to copy the whole file and we're going to remove stuff and rename things. All right. So, oops. We're going to rename this to be Android. And we'll leave the analyzer in there. I should probably rename that other one. We don't need sim version. We don't need this. That comes in anyway. We're not going to parse from XML because we have JSON. Now here we're going to need to import these since we're bringing that from the analyzer class. All right. mlaunch path. We're not using mlaunch because that's totally different. I bet we can do Bills, how did I, not that one, save. If we go to our project stuff, it's projects. All right, we had that, our package.config. I think that's what I'm looking for, packages.json. That's what I'm looking for. So inside of here for our debugging, we just are able to do this. We're gonna do that same path. And we're gonna change our other project to output to there as well. All right, so, and we'll be able to just change that to Android devices, bin. All right. Android devices. And here we go. So Android. There we go. So now what we'll do is we are going to call this, which we'll call our Android devices. We can remove this because we don't have to. I have it named .xml. We're probably gonna, let's rename that. Rename. We will rename this to be JSON file. I like that more. All right. Luckily, we're not going to need all these checks. I'm going to leave it there for right now. And again, we're not going to need to do all of that. Our string. Where'd that go? All right. Sim version. Here we can hopefully just tell it to. Sim version looks to be private. So yes, .ts is TypeScript. So yeah, TypeScript is fun. All right, so we're going to want to export this so that way it is visible for the other classes. And now we can say sim version, throw that in there. So now we have our sim versions. All right, and getting the versions are not the same. So on the Android one, so I'm not very good at TypeScript. I'm not claiming to be. I am not. It's close. It's very close to C#. It does some things very differently, but I like how it's typed and it's all freaking out and saying this stuff doesn't work, which is nice. All right. So this is going to read this stuff out. Parse string. Where was that? Oh, I brought that in from that XAML parsing. So I think there's an easy way to do JSON though, where parsing XAML is harder. Yeah, there's just JSON.parse. Okay, so JSON.parse. Can I do that to a list? Okay, actually I have an idea. Let's just do this. Instead of doing that right here, let's go to here. What we'll do is we will create our own. Yeah, it's the thing is TypeScript compiles down to JavaScript, so it just gives you TypeScript safety. So it's very, very similar. It's just a little weird. So we don't need all this get version stuff because we're not going to be dealing with that. Get available devices. That we're going to need. And we're going to have that. The execute command is how we're going to launch out and tell this thing to run. And we're going to need to do a thing. If Windows, we're going to have to do mono, else not. And that is wherever this thing is. All right. Actually, on that util, is that public? Yeah. Okay. So util, actually, I can do that in that exec. So in this exec, I can say command options. Here we go. So I can say if util dot And then I should be able to just bring this in. All right, so import all as util from slash services slash utils. There it is. All right, so we just bring that in. Notice those imports are very similar as well, it's just slightly different. Now in this launch, we can say util.isWin. So if it's window, then we're just going to be, we'll say if not window, command equals. So Comet is the name of the new project. If you click on that link, it's a new type of project. It's just it's just the code name for the new type of project, which is MVU for iOS, Android, UWP, WPF, pretty much all .NET stuff. So it's just a new way to write apps via C#. So if it's not, oops, did not mean to do that. We will say command equals, and here we'll do, did I do that syntax right? I thought I could just do that like I did here. Oh, I need the dollar. Oh, all right. It is the wrong type of slash. All right, so that dollar that, and we're just going to wrap it in mono if it's not. There we go. So now it'll auto just say mono run that thing, which is really nice. All right. So let's play with that a bit more now. All right, we're getting somewhere. So we've got that. We're going to add a parse string. What's the parsed XML typically? The old one. We will do get available devices. What does that do? It calls the get versions, which we don't need. All right, so this is going to change quite a bit because the other one is simulators by versions. This just has get simulators, and it returns the simulator version. All right, so what we can do, first does that. This just does a promise of any. Okay. We can make ours a bit cleaner. Let's add a new thing here. We'll say interface, Android. No, this is on the wrong one. We don't want to put this here. Let's go to the Android file to put this. All right, so inside of our Android ones, we're going to add a new device up at the top. Interface, Android device. New. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to go grab our C# interface device thing or class, and we're just going to bring this over here. Now you'll notice I can't just copy and paste C# because it goes first the name, and then the string, or then the type. So, but close enough. So we can say name string. Is it? Oh, yeah. All right. And I don't think they get a semicolon, right? No semicolon. No, they do. All right, semicolon. We have name. We now have serial. Just string. Now we have is emulate or boolean is. All right. So now we have our Android device. So what we can do here now is we can say private promise. So promise is just their async and await stuff, and I'm gonna mess this up. So we're gonna go Actually, we have it. No, that's not a promise. Any of this stuff a promise? Yes. Public async, the private async, parse devices. Now this is going to take in JSON string, and this is going to be return promise and Android device. All right, so that's going to tell us how to do this right, and I do that wrong. Promise. That looks right. I should have made that an array because it is an array. Okay, functions whose declared type. Oh, is it because it's not returning it? I didn't finish it? Yeah, that's all it is. All right, so what we will do is we will do JSON.parse text will just be JSON, and I don't. So this project I have not been building from scratch on stream. Comet, most of that's been done on live on stream, but this extension, this is me. The iOS I just did it. The Android stuff is the first time I'm really doing this. So parse JSON to array. I think I can just do the parse and then do the map stuff, but I don't want two things. Parse array response. Okay, so I can just do that. That I might not even need an entire function for that. Oops, wrong stuff. Go back to TypeScript. All right, so no, I did that backwards. Items, and then I can just do that, right? I do that wrong. Wish someone had a full sample of that because I don't think you do those. I don't think that's how it goes because that's C#. Yeah, it does not like that. Okay, so if I do var items equals that, that's, I know I can do map would let me do like select that out into the new thing, but I should be able to just parse it and tell it what type it's supposed to be. All right. Oh, so I can do that here. Does a cast. Okay, we'll try that. It likes it. So I didn't even need that as its own thing. We're just going to delete this thing. Hey, angry little hamster, how's it going? Doing some TypeScript today. Trying to figure this stuff out. That's that. All right. So now parsed XML. One sec. Yes, I am switching, doing some TypeScript stuff, and I get it confused like crazy while I'm doing that. So I don't need that same parsed stuff because I'm just going to get out those This is not any. We know that this is now, and we're just going to leave it as it is. Parsed XML. All right. So now from there, we'll say the simulators get available devices. What we do, we don't have to get the versions. We don't need any of that. We don't need to do any of that because we're just going to list these things up. So we need to map this where we do this type of thing. All right. The other stuff was parsing XML, so it's a lot harder. So what we do now is, is that still called parsed? Yeah, I should rename stuff because that's a bad name. Map. What we're going to do is, now we can just say, all right, return this. And we should now just be able to say, all right, ID equals x dot name. Oh, actually, we'll do serial name equals x dot name. And we probably should do an is running on that stuff. What did I do wrong? What's it complaining about? ID is never assigned. Name is never assigned. It's missing the properties. It's making sure that I fill this thing out all the way. All right. So what else does this thing need? Project type equals project type.android. And then versions equals new, I don't even know. What's the versions thing? Go to definition. And we can delete all this stuff because we don't need all this. Oh, actually, this is iOS simulator version. I don't know if that's right. We may have to tweak this thing. There's a way to make these optionals. TypeScript interface optional. I did a lot of TypeScript back in the day, like during the App Center days. I worked a lot on that type of things, and that forced me to do a lot of this. There we go. Oh, no, yes. Let's see if that does it. Oh, I know it's not equals. It's that. All right. So that should be happy now. Let's see. So I did a ton of TypeScript back doing the App Center stuff. I added all those App Center support for Xamarin back in the day, and that was all TypeScript and things like that, but it's been a while. It's been a while. So hopefully we'll get back to some more C# stuff. We've got to finish this TypeScript stuff. It just have to. But now that we've done that, we should be able to get out our Android devices. We're going to put some breakpoints along the way. We should return this stuff. We can now ask for some simulator for these things. So let's see what happens here. And if you guys are learning C# in school, that is awesome. I unfortunately never did school, so I'm purely self-taught, and sometimes I feel like I miss things. Sometimes I feel like it was better that I didn't, but it would have been nice to have someone to actually teach me how to do things rather than me just banging my head against a wall when I was learning. All right, so we have to do all up here. Show iOS device picker. We have our Android one. Go to definition here. Let's stop this. That's actually still running, not preview. I want to actually go to it. Okay, so now, just like this does, we can say, check this out. Oh, this has a simulator analyzer. We're going to need to add an Android one. And let's rename this to iOS. Did I spell it right? Let's hope I did. All right. Android analyzer. Done. All right. So now we've got that in there. And that actually doesn't need to be called simulator because Android is Android. It does it all. Does it all. It doesn't care. All right. So what we're probably going to do on the Android one is make the call every time. So just like they do here, we're going to do this. Except this, we will do Android analyzer, get simulators. This is TypeScript. Nope, TypeScript. It is C# and JavaScript mixed together. It's what you use when you're building it's actually very popular on the web, but if you're doing stuff, building extensions via VS Code, you typically use TypeScript. So this is a VS Code extension. So we're building an extension for VS Code, which that's a whole nother beast. All right. I'm just going to copy the rest of that. Right. So we've got that. We've got this. Nope. Didn't need the raw right there. Delete that. Okay. So this will get us the data we need. Now that we have this, we can actually, yeah, we're not going to deal with launching. We don't need to do the version because that's not going to matter. We just need to know the simulator. All right. Let's run this again. So building a VS Code extension is something I'm not. Oh no, what'd I do? What'd I do? Okay, something did not build right. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop this. Let's click Command B, build, npm build. This should tell us, restart the task. This should tell us what I did wrong. All right. Comet configuration. I have too many curly braces. All right, so it's going to build again. That's the nice thing about TypeScript. You'll notice I did build and restart. I didn't have to. I could have went to this terminal and it would have auto done everything for you. It like builds as you go, which is awesome. So it just has a file watcher and it just rechecks every single time. And if things worked, it just regenerates the JavaScript. So like I said, in the end, it compiles down to JavaScript. So it does, it's really cool. It just runs for you in the background. All right. If this worked, guys, fingers crossed. I can click select devices. We're debugging through the TypeScript. Click play. Did it do anything? Ah, cannot read property get simulators of undefined. Right. All right. I know the problem. Up here, I set the iOS one, right? Right. I instantiate it. However, I do not do that for Android. Hey, thanks for the follow, angry little hamster. Sorry, it split it funny and words get split. You're like, wait, what? All right. Android analyzer. Comet Android. Got that. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mark Vla. All right, so we've got that now. Now, I shouldn't even have to rebuild it. I'm pretty sure it will do it for me. No, it didn't. Because that was done statically. So let's just restart it. Got the task. All right. When the extension's initialized, that's when it creates that. And so it's not going to reinitialize just because I changed some code. Okay, we're getting somewhere. It's running my code. Oh, I know why. I didn't change the output, guys. It can't find the right file. All right, so right here, we're going to come to here, and we're going to change the output to... So the project I'm working on right now, this is not open source. We are building an extension, VS Code, for this project, which is open source. So what I need to do though is I have a output inside of here, there is a bin folder. So I need to remove this and just go right there. Now if I rebuild this, now I had to build it for release too. I don't remember. Actually, what is our output? We can check. So inside of our Android one, we were saying go to bin debug. All right. So now if I just do it again, it should work because now that file exists. Oh, it gave an exception. Let's go check that output file. Bin debug Android devices exists. Okay. So I might have to get the actual file or the actual path. The path it's running in might be wrong. All right, let's restart the extension. Try again. So once this is done, we'll test it and actually try running the Comet app on Android. Okay, that error is wrong just because no such file dot. It doesn't like that. So I'm going to have to get the path, and I can do that. I know how to do that. I've done it. So I think I can do, let's just go here. All right, so that path is wrong. I think on the iOS simulators I might do it. On one of them I do it. So ignore that error. I still have the iOS error in there, which is wrong. Storage path. All right, so Android, I mean not Android, VS Code extension, get extension path. Here's where we do, all right. VSCode.extension. I have my own extension, so I might be able to do it for my own extension path. VS Code, you can just do, that's interesting. All right, because I don't need the VS Code install path. I need my path because I need to be able to say, hey, combine those paths. So right here where I do that, path dot, actually let's just check VS Code. VS Code dot extension. I wonder how to get the, I wonder if I can do it in Node, all the same. No, I'm not seeing it. There's got to be a way. Actually, I had this thing I think does it. This service, go and find its working directory. Although I don't think I actually use that anywhere. That's the old way I was going to do it. I was looking how other extensions had done things. All of this is going to take that working directory. How do I get the working directory? Project folder. Hey, here we go. Find references. I don't actually create this thing though. In the extension, this is where I register it. Get the current project. So this tells me the context. So inside the comment manager context, go to definition. Inside of here, I might be able to go context.extension path. So what I can do is when I create this thing, that's what we'll do. Go to definition. And we will do one more of these. This one is extension path. Or I could just pass the context in at that point. All right. So string, sorry, equals. No, we'll just set that. Now we'll do this dot executable path equals path dot join extension path comma mlon. I need to do android dot mlaunch path. Statics in TypeScript, you have to, even though you're in the class, you still have to say the class name. It's okay. So now we can do this. I need to specify this because TypeScript. All right. So let's stop. Oh, we're not debugging. Let's rerun this again. Hey, it's doing something. We got a result. Did it do it? It was just slow. We got an error. All right, so let's debug through this. So try catch. It's the exception. Put that there. Oh man, we're getting somewhere. I know. It's exciting when you see stuff happen. And it's like, wait, why didn't it go? I just want to restart that. Let's go to, wait, I have not had music playing. You guys have been entertaining enough. Haven't needed music. All right, so we're going to click this. All right, so we got the result. It did nothing, which is fine. JSON file path. There's our workspace. Comment debug. I might need to, oh, I do the file exist. We do that. All right, we're getting somewhere. My pull request is getting merged right now? When did it happen? Sorry, yesterday I was working on a pull request. It got merged 5 minutes ago? No, pull requests. Author, me. Yes! That's exciting. That's exciting. I love my pull requests getting merged. I'll have to tweet about that. Well, Dan, it works great. UWP has a couple odd issues you might run into just because I need to do a lot more work to make UWP work perfectly. If the font file name does not match the font name inside, just because UWP has some nonsense. So that pull request, I'm going to tweet about it. I'm live streaming right now. So what this does is it allows you to embed forms as embedded resources, or fonts inside of Xamarin Forms as embedded resources. And then you can use them the same way on iOS, Android, and UWP, which is weird because normally they have very, very different ways of specifying fonts. So it makes font handling in a cross-platform manner easy. So yes, really excited about that one. All right. All right. So we're getting somewhere. So we know this JSON file location. Let's go peek. Let's go see if that file is being created and if it's doing it right. All right, so we're gonna go to Finder, our file. Uh-oh, something didn't happen right. All right, it might be my mono stuff. All right, let's restart this. We're getting somewhere. Something didn't happen right. All right, so what we can do to test this ourselves, let's close all this. Close all these. All right, so now we've got that. What we'll do is we want to go, I don't remember where we're at. Reveal in Finder. All right, so let's go to this bin folder. Okay. Sounds good. How am I doing? Hey, go enjoy your spaghetti. Don't blame you at all. Spaghetti sounds way more fun than me right now. All right, so we've got our JSON file path. So, oh, I need quotes on that. I need quotes on that path. That's the problem. That's why I go type them eventually. I'm like, oh, wait, that's not going to work. So let's stop that. Even though it's on save, it rebuilds and changes things. It's awesome. TypeScript's really nice like that. All right. So let's click on this. Now it's quoted. We probably should quote both of them. All right. No error. We're good. We're good. No errors, no outputs. We should have. That was it. Spaces. Spaces in the name paths. Or in the paths. Perfect. So now we have the file. Beautiful. This should work on Android or Windows too. Press play. Yes, we have Android. We have pickers. All right. It didn't work after it was done, but we're getting somewhere. Can't read property map. But we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. That's really exciting. All right, so let's stop debugging again. I wonder where that map error was. Yes, new error is definitely progress. All right, these error messages are wrong. All right. I just don't want it saying the iOS errors. Right now, the iOS requires Xamarin.ios. I'm going to fix that in the future. All right. Also, inside this Comet configuration. All right, so here we also have that supported stuff. if we're going to try this on Windows, which I want to, all right, here we will say if, let's go, throw this in here. All right, so if util.isWindows return type, it takes 3 equals for some reason in TypeScript. That messed me up so much. So right now we're just saying only Android on that. I really have no idea why it didn't fail at that point. That's the real truth. I need to dig in and see if I can get the proper output. So if I get the right output, I can then say what the error is. But right now, I just have no idea. So I agree. Shouldn't be there. But yeah. I might be able to come up with a command. Like here, I told you how to fix it. Because iOS, I know exactly how to fix it. On Android, if I can't run this exe, yeah, I'm doing TypeScript. Of course I said TypeScript. It's all I'm doing right now. Now I'm going to go back to some C# hopefully soon. TypeScript right now, though. Once we start the build and debug process, we're going to jump back to C# to get the debugger working and launching the apps and all that. Or launching the emulator. All right. So this I'll tell you why. I get the standard out and I tell you why. Here, I'm not going to get the standard out on mono. If that file doesn't exist, it should throw this exception. These should not happen. So I think I'm okay with that right now because that really shouldn't happen. This is what will happen. I can say, and maybe we can give them a code to run to give them a better output, or we can run that and then show them that as the output. But yeah. On TypeScript, oh, I have no idea what that is. Android. Because that's going to be the only issue that comes here. And I don't think it'll pop up here. I think it's going to pop up right here. So we're going to go with that for right now. I need to stop doing save all. Okay. So let's move on. We've got that. Let's find that error. What was that other error? So it's something here. Oh no, we got the selected device. We select the device. We set the current simulator. This. Wait, are we in the iOS one or the Android one? Oh, that's iOS. iOS has that. Never mind. Let's do the Android one. All right. This is the one we're looking at. This looks right. All right. So then, if that's not the problem, it has to do with update. It's this. Okay, let's run this. All right, so we're going to click low delay for a second. Android. Where's that error at? Tell me. Cannot read property map of undefined. So I think I know what it is. So it might be, we do this, we get those devices, simulator. Let's put a breakpoint there. Yes, you can do lots of tests in TypeScript. I have 0 tests in the stuff I've written here, but yes, I do a hybrid approach of test-driven development. With Comet, you'll see a lot of tests show up as I run into errors, but it can be hard. Hey, honey pop, it's been a while since I've seen you around. How's it going? It's been a while since I've been streaming. So, to be fair, just getting back into streaming. I did yesterday and today. Need to stream more. It's hard sometimes when you get into a break and forget, and yeah. All right. Yeah, Corona's keeping everybody in an interesting state. All right, so we've got parse XML. It has 2. Wait, we're not here because this was all the getting developable devices. It was breaking in this page because we go and we get the devices, Android. It was somewhere in here. Wait a minute. Do I set? No, that should be fine. Haha, that's iOS. I keep looking at the wrong one. Android. We got some breakpoints all over the place. Hopefully you guys are all still working. You haven't lost work or in too bad of a shape with the coronavirus. Luckily, I work from home, so it didn't affect me too much. But kids are all home all the time, so that changes a lot. All right. Press play. We have simulators raw. We have the right stuff. ID, name, all that stuff, right? All right. So is it here that it's breaking up? Simulators raw dot map. Dot map. All right, because we have the pop-up work, so we've gotten past this. We know that's not our error. Oh, simulator.versions. This is wrong. We don't do that. We don't have to do versions because versions is an iOS thing only. Extra code that wasn't needed. Oh, I'm sorry you lost some work. That's never fun. It's a big mess. It'll be nice when it's over. Like I said, I'm used to working from home. I'm just not used to working from home with my whole family home all the time. That's the difference. It's pretty different when everybody's home all the time. The kids are figuring out how it all works. My kids have been having meetings with their teachers online, which has been kind of interesting. All right. No crash this time. Yes! Undefined. We need to fix that because it's not undefined. But that is awesome. All right. Let's fix that. But I really can't complain. I still have my job. I'm still working from home like I always do. All right. So equals, we're going to do this just a, oh, that says project, not project. I want to do this in device update. It's funny, I still call it project string there. Var, oh, this will be easy. I think I can do that. Oh no, it doesn't like that. So we'll do var version string equals. I think I can do it outside here though. And I don't need the question mark there. I think it's just that. And now, okay, much better. So let's What file errors? What errors? Oh, did I save that? Is that not valid? Error, version string. I thought I could do that in TypeScript. All right, TypeScript, question mark. All right, well, we'll just do. We'll do the ugly long way. I totally thought I could do that in TypeScript. All right, compilation's happy. So now when we click an Android device, it's not going to look as ugly. Android debug device. Yes. Yes. That's really, really exciting. I like it. All right. Now what we need to do is actually make the build works. If I just click build, Command B, my build's going to happen. It actually jumps into our debugging because our debugging deals with all this. It's going to tell Android to sign the package. All of this stuff is invalid because we're not doing that here. So I should actually comment those out. They're just ignored parameters right now. But now if we go back, we will see it's building. And so now what I need to do is for the debugging part, WPF's going to blow up, of course. But hey, check it out. Android built. Now that that worked, what we need to do, and it's complaining, I don't know what to do with those things. We don't need those. I was trying to figure all kinds of things out. All right. So now what we can do is jump over the C# stuff. All right. So inside of here, we have our Android devices thing that works now. Inside of here, if I find the right area, that's the debugger stuff. That's at the connect. I do some stuff for and how to do this now. That's where we do the debugging stuff. That's the connect. We need to do that even before then. We need to launch the debugger. We're actually going to change our project up a tad. Not that one. This one. Right now, I have Android devices. I put that SDK thing there. Actually, we'll leave it there. We're going to reference that. Android SDK. All right. And so this is a fork of an open source thing called Mono Debug. Yeah, it built. We're good. Except I want to be able to now launch the device and debug and all that. So we're going to get there soon, real soon. So right now I have this thing to where I pass in all these options, right? The configuration, the platform, project type is simulator. I wonder if that's right. iOS device ID. Try and remember, we need ADB device ID. We're not setting. Although we might just do it as like device ID. Let's go look at our TypeScript and see what it's passing over. So eventually we do the debugger stuff, right? The debugger is going to say, hey, we're ready. We're going to do this thing. And it's going to shell out, tell the other stuff to run, the debug stuff to run. But it sends up, is it in the configuration? Something figures out everything and then passes that along. So something is going to say, what is the current, let's look what it calls this. Find references. Something's going to call this. These? No. Okay, find references. I want find all references. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. So, whoa, let me. This double windows thing trips me up most of the time. All right, so here's where we get the current one. Find references. No, I do the wrong one all the time. All right, we're just going to search over here. Current platform. All right, so something does the build configuration. Hey, Boomer, how's it going? There's a B in there. All right. Oh, wait, here we go. This is where we get the task. So we get all this stuff. No, that's the MS build. That's not the right one. Eventually we do that, and then we do the debugging. And we tell the debugger stuff. And that's what I'm trying to find. That's all for the building. All right, well, something's going to ask what the current device is. So, oops, let's search for that, because that something does. There's Android. That's where I was trying to do it the other day. Doing good. Just trying to find my way through this code I haven't touched in 6+ months. And remembering how it all works. Debuggers and all that are not simple. All right, so that did that. Sets the current simulator. Sets the current simulator version. Just the current device. Something uses this. I know it does. And it does the debugging stuff. I inject in Comet debugger. At some point, I pass this data over to the debugger. And I say, hey, here's the data. Now that we have the data, that's the document change stuff. All right, start a session. Sends the command to start. Comet configuration provider. This it. Comet manager apply configuration. Oops. Go to definite. No, not type. All right. This is it. So this applies everything to the configuration. It says, hey, config, here's your platform. Done. Here is, if your iOS, config.csproj equals the current project. That should happen for iOS or Android. I don't know why that matters. If you haven't done... All right. I don't know if I need both of these. This is what I'm looking for. So we go and we get the configuration. We prompt them to fill this thing out. So we should probably have an iOS one and an Android one. Apply. All right. So what we'll do here, we're just going to paste this stuff right there. All right, so that'll let us do all of our iOS stuff. Now we're going to do something very similar. All right. So now what we can do is await. Right, I remember, I always forget this. All right. So we'll say if do that. Okay, so now we have iOS. Now we'll say else if, I don't know if Android's gonna need, all right, everything's gonna do this current project path. Let's be honest. All right, that's just gonna go here because all right, current simulator, show device picker. We're gonna do some of that, but we don't have all the same exact checks as iOS because we don't care about the version. We just care that the simulator has been selected. All right, so if current simulator, it's a lot of if statements. I agree. We can remove some of these now. This is all null checking. So if something's null, show the device picker, right? So now what we can do here is show that. Now we can say if current simulator, we can say config dot, what's this thing? I wonder if we need more. We can probably get by with just the device name, to be completely honest. Oh, move to curly brace. All right. So now we can just come into here and do this config. And is this config type class? No, it's an any. All right. Any's are kind of cool inside of TypeScript because you can just fill it out however you want. Okay, so if there's no current simulator, because we don't care about the device type, we'll say show picker. All right. All right. Then we'll just say, if they still haven't picked one, I don't know what we do, but we'll just say config config.adb device name equals this dot current simulator dot name. We'll set the serial anyway, and that is, all right, so we're passing that data on anyway. Now Android's going to do some stuff. All right, so now I can go to, I actually don't use either of them very much at all. This is out of the ordinary for me. Current project. But I don't hate TypeScript. I like it more than JavaScript because I like that I get all these compile time errors. But it gives a false sense of security, which kind of sucks. Because you're expecting things like in a real compiled language, if I say it's this type, it's this type. But the moment you start doing this any stuff, it's whatever the crap you want it to be. So it's kind of cheating at the same time. But it gives, so there's a false sense of security, which is kind of interesting. All right, so there we go. I think we have what we need there. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find where this thing is used. Mono debug session, create from arguments. There it is. Device name is unique for emulators. Device ID, and if it's an emulator that's not running, there's no ID. So if the device is plugged in, I will get an ID and a name. I should probably pass if it's an emulator or not. So that's fun. Real fun. Just got messaged. I thought I heard a message noise. I am annoyed at a few things. The one that I actually miss the most in Visual Studio Mac is, and in VS Code on Mac, or for C Sharp, is I miss IntelliSense. Not IntelliSense, IntelliCode. That's what I miss. So we already has is simulator, so let's set that. Because we know this. Let's jump over to our C Sharp, just so we can make better decisions. All right, so Android, we'll do right here. All right, simulator dot. Maybe we don't keep track of that. All right, not doing it yet. Okay, so we're not even passing that data back and forth yet. Kind of funny. All right, so we get our options. Then we do launch iOS. All right, that's all the iOS stuff. Let's find references. All right, so we don't need to do the launch iOS stuff. Android, I think, has to launch first. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster because we switched over to whatever Roslyn does. So the IntelliSense and Visual Studio for Mac is actually identical to Visual Studio. You just don't get IntelliCode. So now if Xamarin options dot project type equals project type dot iOS, do that. Now I believe Android has to start first before the connect. All right. All right, so launch Android. This works a lot differently. This code's actually all pointless. Ignore all that. Actually, I'm going to take like a 2-minute break. I need to go refill my water bottle and do a really quick bio break. I'll be right back in like 2 seconds. I'll be quick. Button. Where's my... There we go. I have not been pushing my buttons for a while.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
All right. Oh, headphones. I should put those headphones back on. All right. Yeah, all the IntelliSense stuff is all Roslyn. Roslyn decides all that, so yes, you should complain on the Roslyn GitHub repo stuff. It's all open source. Or contribute. All right. So here's what we do. This command is very different. What's this run mlaunch? Does that save that process out? Right, okay. So that way we kill that process off when we stop debugging. Well, I try, it doesn't work. Ah, wrong file. Why'd I do that? All right, so let's go here. All right, that sounds good. We don't need an SDK root. What we're going to do now, though, is we're going to do some ADB communication in here. So we're going to bring in that library again like we did before. So dot manager equals new SDK manager. Perfect. Dun, 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 dun. SDK manager dot. There was something we did on this other one. Acquire. Acquire. All right, so we've done that. I'm gonna await that. And let's await. Done. All right, so we're going to what do you mean? Is it complaining about the names being the same? I thought I did that without passing anything in. Android SDK manager. Let's go back to our debug stuff. Launch Android. That's the deal. All right, perfect. All right, so now that we have that, we can even go as far as looking at his docs. We're going to verify the device ID. So options.device ID. All right. So here, what we'll do is SDK manager dot emulator dot start. And here, all we have to do is pass in options dot ADB device name. And then he had a thing to wait for that to be done. Emulator, and it's not running. Now we could verify maybe things have changed. So maybe we put some extra code in here. Just be like, let's get the working devices. Trying to think on that. I wonder if we should, maybe let's just do verify by calling ADB. ADB is just slow, so I don't want to call ADB if I don't have to. Verify calling ADB if the device ID is valid and emulator name and name is correct and it's connected. All right. Either way, we'll start process. So now await task dot run Start process dot wait for boot to complete. Done. We've now just awaited that. All right. Now our emulator should be booted. We're not going to do this same install thing. Yes, we could do this, but we're not. We're going to take advantage of, so I need to find the APK that was built. I guess I could do that. No, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that at all. So we can shell out, this has MS build in it, right? Okay, so that's... If it is running mono, I want to find all the MS build stuff. Because I just want to shell out and say, hey, MS build, go run this. What's actually using this? All right. So we have the MS build in this thing. So we can also do some other stuff that's clever. Let me think. All right. So what we can do... We're just going to go with this right now. We'll fight Android or Windows when we get there. So you can use what's called hot restart. Imran hot restart. Check this doc out. And that should answer all your questions. All right. So let's continue on with this Android stuff. We're just going to assume, right now we're just going to deal with the Mac. We'll fight the mono. We'll fight that later when it's time. We'll put that into a different thing. So we have the run mlaunch. We're going to basically do that for MS build. All right, so we have that now. Where's our Android stuff? I lost it. All right. So now what we'll do is we'll just do... Actually, how did I do that? What we can do though is we're not doing anything where we're reporting back and saying what's going on. We could pass that in so that way we can do like this send response of, hey, we're doing something, we're still working. I think you can do like response and dot, I don't remember. That's right, we're gonna just go with how we're doing now. All right, so for right now, we'll have to run MS build. All right, so we're gonna do that, and we're just gonna shove this right here. Run. And that's funny, we're not even using the working directory. All right, so we don't need to deal with that. Ignore that, that's all different. So what we'll do is wait for exit. And that's all we need. And I don't know how we'll detect if it actually worked. We're just gonna say it worked. Actually. Because I don't even know what we're gonna do with that anyway. All right, so we're just gonna say it worked or it didn't work. what we're going to do here now, the command is the ms build. I wonder if we can just say ms build though, if we have to do all that. I think we might be able to do process, shell out, and I think you can just call it bash. It's been a while since I've done this. Actually, what do we do on mono process start bash? There we go, ln. That's all I need. All right. And we're just going to do this like this for now. It's different on Windows. We're going to do something very different there. Actually, I wonder if we can get away with doing... Sorry, I'm all over the place right now. I'm just trying to think. I wonder if we were able to do this. So we don't need msbuild.exe. I mean .bin. We want msbuild.exe. Or it's not a DLL at all. Go to folder. The nice thing if you have mono installed, you just call msbuild into bash and it works though. That's not what we need at all. Very interesting. I wonder what they're doing with that. So msbuild assembly resolver, assembly name. I have no idea what they're doing with that. We're not even going to use that. All right, what we'll do here is... Where were we? We were in this thing. Launch Android. We were doing something new for running msbuild. What we'll do here is the command. And for the arguments, cat arguments. I think we shove msbuild into there. And if we're on Windows, the file name is just going to be msbuild. The right msbuild. We'll have to find it and pass it the path. So var we don't even need a command coming in on this because it's msbuild. Of course it's msbuild. Msbuild command equals... Is that a Boolean or is it... Okay. All right, so we'll have to find the msbuild. All right, so we've got that, turns a Boolean. Then we'll say... our arg string equals utilities dot concat args. Now, what we're going to have to say is if is running mono, where you have to append in the msbuild, because msbuild has to be the first thing that we pass into ls. Trying to think the right way of doing this. I don't know if there is a clean way. The new args equals a new, or we can use link. To array. That's so ugly. It's a problem with arrays. You can't edit them. And then that's all we need. All right. Should work. We'll see. And we are going to use the working directory on this one. All right. So here, what we'll do is we are going to run. I spelled command wrong. Ah. All right. Working directory. What is... All right. Now the arguments we have to pass into this. This is the tricky part for this thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell ms build to build the CS proj. So the first arg is going to be the options.cs proj. And then what we're going to do is pass in a couple targets. I think we did the sign. I think we need to do install and run. Can you do... I have my untitled thing where I was playing with all this. I think I can do install and run. We'll just do them as separate ones. All right, so we're going to tell it to install and run. Make sure you're generating an APK, and I'm not dealing with that because the build, I'm not building here. This is not building. This is just to install, run, and debug. So I probably need to change my build process so I can do a fast build so we tell it what we're targeting. But I'm not doing that yet. All right. So we also need, I think I need this. And I think inside of this, I can pass it in ADB target. I think I'm reading some private Android source code. So I think I can do an ADB target. Sorry, I can cheat like that. It's nice about having access to the source code. All right, so I think I need attach debugger. And then I also think I need /p. This could be way off. I'm going to try this. ADB target. Actually, one sec. Let me check another private source. Sorry, guys, looking at things off screen. Shh. I'm not bringing anything like that into this. Not trying to leave anyone in the dark. Is it selected device? Okay, maybe it is selected device. Like I had in this. I think it might be that. I think that's right. They're public if you go find them. Like you can go find the target files, but the source code for them are not. Are they? Maybe this is public. Maybe I'm not looking at private source. Let me check. No, what I'm looking at is private. Can't show it. Eventually they're built in public, but I'm looking at, I'm not gonna do anything to jeopardize anything. So we'll do that. And I wonder if I can just do it based off the name, purely the name. We're going to see what happens, guys. I have no clue. So that should be it. I'm calling this, right? So what I actually can do, I can debug this. So if I have this running, I think this will connect. Let's see what happens if I start debugging. See if that connects. Error. What error? Debug anyway. That did not do it. Okay, so let's go check out this stuff. Oh, this is that. We're going to close this. I keep going to the wrong solution. All right, so let's stop. Let's start. Go back to this. Select device. All right. All right, go debug. This task is up and running. Did not connect to it like I was hoping it would. Oh, it's got to build first. I have too many things. Debug. Is that right? I think it's right. What did it pass on? All right, so where did we say we found all that configure the Android stuff? That was in here, right? Let's get the configuration stuff. Apply Android. I want to make sure that stuff's actually firing. Hey, definitely is, because look, we're filling this out. We've got the name and we've got the ID because it is connected. Nice. All right, connected. Launch, iPhone simulator, build. Passes in the project name. Why isn't the debugger going though? Let me stop this in case like I have a port open that's blocking it. Debug console, nothing's popping up. And the debugger's not connecting. Is there an output? All right, I wish I could just remove that without it being an issue. You know what? I'm going to just delete it. Who cares? It's in source control. Should make this easier. All right, we're getting that stuff. Do that. It's building. It builds. It's happy. Debugger starts and stops like instantly. Where do I find the output on that? I can't have that many problems still. Can I clear this console? Deleted post. Yeah, of course, they're gone. You know what? Let's start. Let's restart from the scratch now that I deleted those. All right, so we've got that. Let's run. All right, Android API 28. Build is happening. Sign package. That's what's getting past MS build. We watch that happen. All right, we're gonna have to start debugging in the debugs. Oh, come on. All right, Comet debugger. Where it gets all the debug stuff. That's that Comet config. Passes all that to the stuff. What is... Let's stop. Debug it this way. Ah, mono debug. Where's that mono debug? This is now... There we go. That's what I do. If I do debug from here, I can debug both. Let's see what happens. Android. Let's run. All right, those are definitely hitting. I wonder if I was to just to put those... Is this getting anything? Okay, that's just a warning. Comment build's happening. Okay, but we don't care about those because we're not actually running those. Let's go and put something in the program. Oh, that's the Android one. I don't care about that one. I want to make sure we're actually getting the debug working like it should. Hey, now we're on the server. Look, waiting for debug protocol. All right, let's put a breakpoint. That's cool. I didn't realize I had a drop down there to switch between the two. All right, so let's go to... Where's program? Isn't that what it's called? Or is it just called mono debug? Is that where it's at? Mono debug. That's got the static main. Okay. Mono debug. Static main. Okay, we're getting breakpoints in here. That's exciting. Yes, that's what we care about as the server. Now let's go here. Select device. Perfect, perfect. Let's run it. See if anything's coming in. Why am I not getting those requests? That's just, it's not an error. Build succeeded. Launch. Let's watch these commands coming in. This is whenever it gets a command. Let's try that again. I wonder if I'm debugging on the wrong port. Isn't there a debug server? If that's it, I'm gonna go crazy. That could have been it. So 4711. Okay, perfect. All right. What am I? I'm on a breakpoint somewhere. Accept a connection. It was the stupid debug port. I did not have debug port stuff set right. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Nothing's broken, right? Oh, server's broken. Why are we paused? All right, well, let's stop this. Let's... Okay, so that's going. So let's run this. This time, we're going to debug from just this extension. So we're not jumping between two different IDs. There's already a debug configuration. Well, not anymore. All right, so let's just do that. Simplify, guys, simplify. Two different IDs for two different processes. So now let's run. That task comes through. Still waiting. No one's connected yet. Oh, accepted connection. All right. Uh-oh. There we go. Press play. What was our exception? This was crashing on us. All right. What was our crash? Utilities, path to native, output folder, project parser 22. Platform is null. In Android, I just want to look at something really quick. Comet samples, Comet Android sample, platform, any CPU. That's what we're just gonna do for now. I didn't parse any of that. We need to deal with that, and we just haven't done it yet. So for now, let's go fix this. Platform. Whenever we set it to Android, so let's do on the show Android picker. Oh. Okay, so I actually do give us a thing to pick that. So, comment project manager dot current. And then on iOS, we're just going to do simulator one that it's set at. I know that is lame. We're going to change that. And probably give you a drop down to let you pick. I just haven't done the platform drop down yet. So we'll get there. All right, so now when we're filling out those configs, so current platform gets set. All right, so that should be good. Let's put a breakpoint in this project parser stuff. So it was looking for one called that and could not find one. Yes, I parse all the project stuff to find the right thing in here. So that blew up under, it was trying to find the output for that and it couldn't find it. It was trying to find it for Android with not any CPU, but for iPhone simulator. And of course there's no output path for that. So it's like, what do I do now? So yes, let's clean that up. Someday I'll open source this whole thing. It's kind of fun, all this project parsing and interesting code. All right. All right, so now it should ask me to pick a device. I love that. Build, get past all this. Here's our new one. It's going to start the connection. Same error. I might not have set that at the right time. All right, so where did that come from? Let's look at before. I want to see what's getting passed into that. Create from args on debug session. All right, this guy. All right, so let's start here. So it goes and gets all the stuff. Got that. Let's go here. Let's run it again. So this will get all the arguments that are passed in from VS Code. It then goes and figures out like where's this output. So like where should I find the APK? And actually I don't need the output anymore for this because platform is any CPU. Configuration is debug. That's the project. So oh wait, that output worked. Didn't it just blow up again? All right, it worked, but then it freaked out on this stuff. Why is it doing those each as their own? So what if we just tell it to run MS build? I have no idea what this is going to do, but we're going to try it. So I don't need the APK because I'm going to tell MS build to sign and run. Oh, chat. What's the best VS Code extension for to-do fix me notes and documents? So I don't know about VS Code, but inside of VS Mac, there is a pad called to do for tasks. And this will show me all my to-dos, which is really nice. I saw an awesome tweet the other day that all to-dos, we should stop using those to-dos and fix-me's, especially the fix-me's, and just say, forgive me, because most of the time we never go back and do it. We're just like, to-do, make this work in a better way. And we never do. It's kind of funny. All right, so yeah, I don't need the output for the APK. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? I need to adopt that and just start doing these all as forgive me. Yeah. So I don't need the output folder. I needed it for the I don't need it for the APKs. I just don't. Because I don't. So I could make this do yeah, I just don't. All right, so I don't need to worry about that right now. That's now working. Why didn't it work the last time then? All right, so let's look at the launch. Run MS build command. So I have something very wrong with this. Did I do? It wasn't ls. It was bashers. Oh, ln. ln. Nope, nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong here. Nothing to see. Run. Yeah, so there's those like hidden MS build targets that I was looking at off screen, that if you use them, it will... Oh, same error. Didn't work right. Do these need to be... I think it needs to be MS build, and then those need to be quoted. Did I not pass in the device, though? All right, so run bash script mono start process. It's something like this. This is what I'm doing wrong. Oh, sure. I'm just saying they're not officially and public and all that non-stuff. So, it's the /C. I knew it was something like that I had to remember. Hate that string formatting. We'll fix that. Or I'll just put a forgive me. One of the two. Yeah, you can look and dig through the targets and stuff. It's all there. But there's one called run and install. And you can run those on the CS proj, so then I don't need to know about the output. Let MS Build deal with all of that. They don't exist on iOS. Just sad. All right. Again. And this is not the most efficient. I'm just running sign and build every single time, which is lame. All right, play. Did it blow up? It did not blow up, guys. It ran the targets. All right, I might be doing the debug. All right, so this is launched and it's waiting for the debugger to connect. This is also like, oh no, it failed. All right, So we launch Android, which we did. No, Android, I can't remember. I got this working once, and I'm trying to remember what I had to do. I think we're getting somewhere though, guys. Wait. What's the, oh, the attach. That needs a, why isn't, oh well. All right, so we've got that. There's 3 or 2, okay. So then we tell it to connect. And if Android, hmm. All right, so let's try this again. All right, so that ran. We've got our arguments. Hope I did that right. No, Android connects in. You have to have the debugger up first. I don't remember. Maybe I got my orders wrong. Let's call the connect first. Yeah, that's what the ones I was talking about was the convention with the underscore. That's what this is, like the run. All right, that debugger's listening. Android's up. Is the debugger working? Curse, this one crashed, or this one's not going. But this, which one of these is running? Well, it launched. We're not debugging though. It launched though. I remember how this works. I had this working a long time ago if I manually did it. It launched on the device, which is good. But I'm not sure what happened with our debugging. Let's go look at after the debugging. All right, so let's try this again. Let's see what response we're sending. Maybe I'm not sending the success response. Because the debugger already gave up. And now it's sending the response. Why is it giving up so soon? Success, true. I really thought the Android had to be up first and then the debugger connects to it. All right. I'm probably gonna be done for the day though. We're doing good. This is moving along nicely. We've got a lot of the work done. We just gotta get the debugger connecting. We've got this. We've got this. It's just fun. Why is it doing that? I need to figure out what that bug is. Like, why after I pick a device, then the configuration picker takes over as a device picker? I need to figure that out because that's weird. Actually, let's just look at that really quick. That all lives in here. Let's go see what's going on here. So with this, update project status. Yeah, it sets the project command as select project. Maybe something somewhere is overriding this. Device status. Oh, wait. Show device picker. So weird. Just in case. Did I edit anything in here? All right, we're gonna just try this one more time. I just want to see what's going on with that pop-up stuff. Uh-oh. What was the error? Activating extension cannot set property. Did not like that. Is it the order? So this does tooltip, text, command. Oh. I'm not very smart sometimes. All right, let's do this. Let's see who else is streaming right now. Is anyone else live streaming? Someone's got to be doing some cool stuff. Well, oh wait, why did our project not load that time? It always remembers. Who's in our team? What team members are streaming right now? Let me go check. See if there's anyone doing fun stuff. Check Discord. People building some video games, playing games. More playing games. Anyone have any recommendations of who we should raid? Oh, come on. Open folder. We're just gonna have to manually go to the samples. This isn't the same one. This has all that other stuff in there. All right, so this Debug iOS. Debug. Update project status. Perfect. Still working. Select a device. iPhone 5. All right. How? How? I'm not overwriting something somewhere. All right, something's weird with the updating the device. All right, up device, go to definition. What? Why in the world am I doing that? Found the bug. Piano bar, huh? Do you guys want to go to music? We can go raid some music. I don't mind doing that. I tend to send coding people to coding people because that's what you guys are watching. All right, let's see if I fix this now. Which I don't know how I didn't because I saw the bug. How did I never notice that before? Because I don't know. I only ever had Android. I mean iOS. I used to not have two options. Love it. It's working. It's working. Except that did not reset. That needs to reset. When you switch these, it needs to reset and go to the device stuff. I like it. I like it, guys. All right. So I'm going to end there, guys. This has been fun. Really fun. We will definitely go raid this guy. Why not? I'm gonna continue working on this tomorrow. I might be able to live stream some of it. Gotta check how my day is, but I gotta get this debugging working because it needs to debug. We're so close. Then we're gonna have Android support in Comet, which is pretty exciting. And then after that, we'll make it work on Windows. That's the really exciting part. We'll have it work on Windows. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. That was fun. As always, I'll try again tomorrow. Thanks. See you guys later.